Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and today we are going to do the driving force needs exercise from my book, Mastering Yourself. This is for people that are trying to figure out their purpose and how they want to organize their personal and professional life so they can do more of the things they love and enjoy because whatever you spend your time at, you're going to become really good at. And so the idea is you want to spend your time doing things you ideally enjoy, but most importantly, that you love. Because when you love something, it doesn't seem like work. You'll work harder at something that you love and enjoy. And so what we're going to do, and I do this a lot in my phone sessions, is to go through and we're going to have Jocelyne make a list of all the things she loves and enjoys in life. And so she's got something to write with. She's going to take some notes. And so this is not going to determine her job or her career or anything. At that point, we're just simply going to get the list. And once we get the list together, then use the list to help you focus and narrow down how you want to organize your personal and your professional life. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make a list of all the things you love and enjoy in life. And so they could be aspects of a current job or a previous job that you've had. They could be hobbies, it could be interests, it could be websites that you frequent, the types of books that you read, the kind of programs that you read. The idea is we're just trying to come up with a list of everything that you love most. And so we're not going to put anything that you like on there, because if you put something on your list that you like, it'll take you in the wrong direction when it comes to your purpose. So the idea is just to get the list of the things that are most important to you, the things that you love and enjoy the most. And so when I say love, what I mean is like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being it's so emotionally compelling and exciting, you can't imagine anything better. And then 1 being it sucks ass and it's the worst thing ever. So we want to come up with a list of, and so you want to imagine like if somebody finds this piece of paper blowing around in a parking lot, and it's got your list of things. We want to write them out in complete sentences that begin with I love, and then you go into detail on whatever the hobby, the interest, the activity, the passion, the task, the duty, whatever it is that you love. And so the idea is anybody seeing this list or reading it can know exactly what you're talking about. Because once it's done, then you're going to build your personal and your professional life around this list and facilitating you doing whatever you end up coming up with, because the more you do the things that are on your list, the things that you love and enjoy the most, the more you're going to feel like you're doing what you're put on earth here to do. And so a lot of times when I'm doing these phone sessions with guys, and then we get to where we're done, and then say they got 20 things on their list, and I ask them how many things in their current job are on the list. And usually the people that really hate their jobs the most, there is like maybe 10% of the things they love and enjoy in life they get to do in their current job. So if you're not doing the things that you love and you enjoy the most in your current job, your job satisfaction is going to suck. So we want to start with one thing that you could say you absolutely love and enjoy in life.
So I would say I'm really big on music. I really love music. I like experiencing new things, going to new places.
So we're going to go one at a time. So what's the true statement for you? You love music?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so write that down. I love music.
Right.
Tell me something else that you love.
I love, I'd say the arts, depending on it. Certain arts, but I do like the arts.
What's the true statement for you? I love the arts. Do you want to elaborate on that? Like, what do you mean by that?
So I would say anything. I mean, I guess music goes hand in hand with that, but I have grown different appreciations of art, maybe like broadcasting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would consider broadcasting as one of them, but I guess in a way it's considered a type of art. It's more communications.
So what is the true statement then? Because the idea is we're trying to narrow down, not put a bunch of generalizations in one. We want to have each specific thing that you love and enjoy. So you said something about broadcast. So, and then you said first you started with something about art,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're talking about broadcast. So what is the love, the passion that you're trying to describe?
I think it sounds. I think broadcasting sounds better, like broadcast journalism.
So you love broadcast journalism? Is
Mm-hmm.
that a true statement? Okay, write that down. I love broadcast journalism. Jocelyne majored in journalism, by the way, which
Yeah.
is one of the reasons why I hired her. So what does broadcast journalism entail? Is that writing an article or is that talking about something?
I mean, it can mean a lot of things, whether it be social media, whether it be writing, whether it be editing, podcasting, talking on TV. There's a lot of things to it. But I like to be very versatile when it comes to that field.
Cool. So you love broadcast journalism?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What else do you love?
I love traveling.
Write that down. I love traveling. What else? Tell me something else you love.
Food.
I love food.
I mean, who doesn't?
What else do you love?
I love board games. I
Write
mean,
that
if that's
down.
even
I love
yeah.
board games. Who else? Gracie loves board games, right? So I did this process with Gracie, and unfortunately, I did not film it, which was stupid. But she had like 30 things on her list, and what was nice is like they just flowed right out of her. She didn't have any beliefs or stories that got in the way. I've had phone sessions with people before where it literally takes me a half hour of just getting through all the bullshit and their stories and their excuses about why this ain't going to work for them, or they don't have anything that they love. And that's one I've had a lot over the years. Guys, well, I just don't have anything I love. And then meanwhile, once I finally get through all the crap that's in the way, their stories, they usually have 15, 20 things that they really love and enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just they won't allow themselves to go there because people do more to avoid pain than they do to gain pleasure. And so they literally create a story around it, and they don't let anything in. And because of that, they can't move forward. They can't move towards the things that they love because in their mind they associate pain with moving in that direction. And so they create a comforting lie for themselves, which is basically what a story is. And then that just says, I don't have the education, I don't have the time, I'm not smart enough, I'm too old, I never make any money in that, or whatever it happens to be. And then therefore they can't ever look in that direction. And that's why those people get stuck, because they're like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know what my purpose is. It's because they literally have created a story that prevents them from fulfilling their mission and purpose in life. So tell me something else that you love.
So I have a quick question. So can I, besides hobbies or just those things in general, what about in terms of ambition or values I have in life? Would that
So
count?
the idea is we're putting the things that you love the most, the things you're most passionate about. They could be hobbies, they could be interests, they could be duties that you do, parts of your job. Obviously, she works for a news station down here in South Florida as well. And so obviously broadcast journalism is something that's she's very passionate about. So give me an example. What else do you love?
There's also photography. I dabbled in it back then, and I still appreciate it to this day.
Is it a true statement that you love photography?
I like it. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, we don't want to put anything that you like on the list.
Okay.
Nothing that you like belongs there. Only true loves, true passions. Tell me something else you love.
I'd say I love hanging out with my friends and family.
Write that down. What else do you love?
Disney World,
I love Disney World.
or just Disney in general.
All right, write down I love Disney. Anything to do with Disney? Disney movies, Disney theme parks, Disney shirts, Disney Mouseketeers and ears?
I would say mainly movies and the parks, but I'm into more of the classic Disney.
Cool.
Yeah.
What else do you love?
I would say road trips as well, even though I think that might have to
So
do
that
with
goes under
traveling.
traveling,
As you
yeah.
think. Yeah.
So the idea is we want each of these to be unique.
Yeah.
What else do you love?
I love learning about psychology as
Write
well.
that down. I love learning about psychology. Interesting that she works for a life coach.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, Jennifer, that's one of her passions is psychology.
Mm.
That's why she does so well with this.
Yeah, it was something I've considered for a while, and I think the idea of understanding human behavior or nonverbal verbal behaviors is a pretty interesting concept for me. So I've thought about it for a while to at least learn something in that regard.
Cool. What else do you love?
Um I guess this one may or may not count. I love the Y2K culture. I mean, I grew up in that decade, so I really love the pop culture and just the culture in general.
So how would you write that into a complete sentence that if somebody found blowing around in a parking lot, they would know exactly what you're talking about? How would you phrase it?
Um, that's a good question. I mean, it's a favorite decade of mine.
So, like, what does
That's
that
right.
mean? I love the culture of the 2000s, or I love being, well, I guess you're technically part of Generation Z, or are you a millennial?
That the thing is, I was born in '97, so there's been a lot of stuff I've read on the internet that some say I'm a millennial, some say I'm Gen Z. So I guess maybe cusp. I don't know. I think I might be more towards Gen Z.
So, what's the passion? What's the love that you're trying to convey?
I love their music. I love the music from back then, the fashion, the movies.
So, how do you write that into a complete sentence that makes sense that other people could understand?
I love 2000s fashion, movies, music, and music.
Cool. Write that down.
Mm.
What else do you love?
I love learning computers, about how to use computers.
So, I love computers. I love learning about computers. What's the true statement for you?
So learning about computers in a sense of learning different softwares and whatnot, like knowing how to work my way around the computer.
All right. Write that down. What else do you love?
I would say I love writing as well to a certain extent.
Write that down. What else do you love?
Let's see. I love wine.
Write that down.
Yeah.
What else do you love?
Mm.
So, what you'll notice for those of you watching or listening is that as we get further down the list and we get the majority of the things on there, there's the spaces and the pauses in between those get longer and longer. And so the idea is pulling them, the first few usually flow out pretty good, but as we get towards the end of the list, you start to see so as a coach, that's how I know that we're getting there. And so far with Jocelyne, she doesn't have any limiting beliefs or anything that's getting in the way or any kind of bullshit story that it's like I'm able to ask her these things and she just comes up with the answer. So that makes my job much easier. But oftentimes with the guys or girls that I'm doing this with on phone sessions, they've tried to do this exercise themselves. They come up with a few things, but it doesn't feel right. And then when I talk to them, I'm able to get past all the bullshit just because I know the right questions to ask.
Mm.
And since I've done it thousands of times at this point, I can tell how to zero in. And so by the end of the call, when I do phone sessions with people, they have a list that they can build their life around, basically. So tell me something else you love. It could be hobbies, interests, tasks in your current job, previous jobs, things you do socially, things you do for fun, books, the type of books you read, the kind of movies you watch, programs you're into, things you study.
I'd say I'm into comedy, mainly whether it be a comedy show or a comedy movie.
So didn't you say something about movies on there?
the Y2K movies, like from the 2000s.
So what's the
Yeah.
true statement for you? You love movies or you love comedies?
I love comedy movies.
Write that down.
As a matter of fact, my favorite movie of all time is actually a comedy movie. I don't know if anyone has heard of the movie Airplane.
Oh yeah.
I love that movie.
That was a classic.
It's one of those types of like stupid funny movies, but I love it. Like I think the movie's genius. Like
You stole my movie.
really?
Say,
You really love Airplane too?
Yes, I wrote a whole paper on Airplane.
Are you serious?
That's my favorite movie. It's hilarious.
I love
You
that
just
movie.
made his day.
Comedy. Yeah,
He's like
I'm
a kindred spirit. No
It-
wonder we get along so well. She
it's-
likes Airplane.
It's mainly because it's a movie for adults, but I kind of grew up watching it, so it was a movie that I really liked. I mean, obviously as a kid, my parents will cover my eyes if they see there was like an inappropriate scene.
This is funny.
But it's a type of movie that I grew up watching, and I don't know, I just had I just had a liking for it, or a love, I guess you could say.
Cool. Tell me something else you love.
I love festivals, concerts.
Write that down. What else do you love?
This one's gonna sound really random. I love band shirts. For some reason, I just love having like band shirts.
I know somebody that also loves band shirts.
For me, it's like a prized
The guy
possession.
operating the cameras.
For me, band shirts are like
Write that down.
Never wear
I love concert T-shirts. I love band shirts or concert T-shirts or band
It's
shirts and concert T-shirts.
either one, because I
I'd
don't
say
know.
concert T-shirts because that's typically where you get those at. Write that down.
Yeah, for me, it's like it's an odd prized possession for me. Like I have to take care of my tour shirts. Like I have to make sure, like if I wash them in the washing machine, I'm a stickler when it comes to it. It's just like I don't know.
Chunky and Jocelyne are kindred
Yeah.
spirits.
The only
Our
one.
lists are gonna be like the same thing.
Maybe.
Everyone's Airplane. She loves concert T-shirt.
The only unfortunately, the only concert T-shirt that I had that did not survive, I guess, me growing up was when I went to see Ashley Simpson. And that was like back in like what, 2004, 2005 when I went for the first time. I was like 6 years old. I lost track, but
No idea.
all right, what else do I love?
What else does Jocelyne love?
I think I did say I love music, but I guess if we're gonna go more in detail, I would say I'm really big on alternative music, trip hop,
So
rock.
you already got music on there. You can drill down on that if you want to, but the idea is we want each individual thing that you love because that's still part of I love music.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything else on your list that you can think of that you don't have there yet?
I love dogs.
Write that down. I love dogs. We know Carolyn loves dogs. Her little doggy almost died.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Frosty.
that's right. Yeah. It was a miracle. It was a miracle, but I'm glad he's
Some good
doing
drugs. I
I'm
told her
glad
maybe they
he's
can give some of
doing
those drugs to Joe Biden and wake him up like it woke up Frosty.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't. Please forgive me, guys. I'd say I had something in mind and it completely slipped.
That was me.
Anything else you can think of?
Yeah,
You
I
don't
had
have-
something in mind and it completely slipped. Oh, this is gonna sound really weird. I love memes.
I love memes. Write that
There
down.
you go.
Maybe you can make us some memes.
Um,
Isn't that like the Jeopardy thing, dude?
Yeah.
When people are thinking and they're writing their answers down.
let's
Anything
see.
else you can think of, Jocelyne? Have we come to the end of your list? Have we sucked it all out of you?
I think
Have we drained your brain dry of your passions and your hobbies and your interests and your true loves?
I think that I know of. I believe so. I can't really think of anything else.
All right. So you guys can see how that basically worked. In the beginning, it's kind of flowing out of her. I think it's harder and harder. And then you kind of know that you got most everything. Now, you might have one or two that pop in your mind a few days or a few hours later or whatever. But so how many you got on your list total?
1, 2. I have 17, and I just thought of one thing I love, which I don't understand why I didn't even say it. I am a big fan, and I love One Piece. It's a anime show. I grew up watching the show as well.
So you love animation? Anime or whatever you call it?
Anime. I actually don't watch it as much as I used to back when I was a teenager, but that's the only show that I love and will watch.
So
Other than that,
what's the true statement for you? I love anime, or
I love One Piece. Just that one in particular.
I love One Piece anime. Anime, how are you?
Yeah, it's an anime.
All right, write
but
that
I
down.
love One Piece.
So we got 18 things on your list.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to go through and read them all out to me again from number 1 to 18.
Right. So I love music. I love broadcast journalism. I love traveling and road trips. I love food. I love board games. I love hanging out with friends and family. I love Disney. I love learning about psychology. I love Y2K movies, music, and fashion. I love working with computers. I love writing. I love wine. I love comedy movies. I love festivals and concerts. I love concert shirts. I love dogs. I love memes. And I love One Piece.
Cool. So obviously the broadcast journalism makes sense. That's what you majored in. So you got that part right, obviously. Loving computers. One of the things that Jocelyne's really good at is that she, just like Chunky, she takes a liking to the editing software and the different types of software programs we use to edit. Like they're getting into Adobe After Effects to learn that. I know that's one of their things that they're self-teaching themselves. And then the psychology aspect. So you can see how her love of computers, her love of journalism, love of psychology, obviously broadcast journalism I mentioned. These are things that she's already doing in her current job. And the rest of the things that are on her list are mostly like things she can do in her social life or her social activities, which that's really super important, because if you only focus on the things that you love in regards to what you do at work, and so in her case, she's got 18 things. I think it was like 5 of them she does in her current career with working with us, and then also working for the television station. But if you work all the time and you focus only on those 5 or 6 things, but the other 12, 13 of them you neglect that are part of your social life, you're going to feel like something's missing. You're going to feel like you're not really doing what you were put here to do. And so that's why it's so important to have a well-rounded life, to where you hit all the things you love in your career, and if you can't do them in your career, you do them in your personal life. And so you can see why so many of the things that she loves and she's passionate about line up with what she's doing with us. And so my instruction always is to people, because if I was talking to you and you weren't working for me and you weren't working for the television station, and because some people, they've already got their degrees or they're working in their industry, and so we go through this list, and sometimes it might require a lateral move in their company so they can do more of the things they love and enjoy, and sometimes it may just mean that they need to leave that company and line up a new job where that new job or business or company can facilitate them doing more of the things that they love and enjoy. Because again, you're going to work hardest at things that you're passionate about, that you love, because it doesn't feel like work. Like Carolyn we were talking about this at lunch. It was like last week or the week before. She's editing a bunch of videos, and she just put her head down, and plowed through it in 5 or 6 hours. And she's like, "Wow, man, the time went by really fast." It's because she's really passionate about it, and so that's what happens. It's like time kind of stands still when you're involved or immersed in things that you love and you enjoy. And so the idea now is like this is kind of like your roadmap. And so when it comes to your career, what you do for a living, what you do socially, is like you want to build your life around facilitating doing those 18 things as frequently as possible. Whether being involved with animals, being involved with dogs, or some are having a dog, or the anime, just occasionally watching the one that you like, because you're going to feel like something's missing if you're not doing all of them. And so the more you can do these 18 things on a regular basis, the happier you're going to feel, the more fulfilled you're going to feel. And then repetition is a mother of skill. And when it comes to income, you get paid based on the value that you bring to the marketplace. So if you're focusing on doing things that you love and enjoy, you're going to work harder at it than anybody that's doing it for a paycheck. And just because you're passionate about it and they're not, you'll work at it so much and you work so hard at it that your work will eventually become better than theirs, because you're willing to suffer for it more than somebody that maybe just likes it or is just doing it for the steady paycheck.